Hello MRH. This is a quick video to walk you through the newly improved requisition entry process in Alio. Now really, the process is essentially the same. We've just changed the order of the steps, which will hopefully remove some of the frustration that we all experience at some point in this process. These are called lanes, and the lane can represent either a person or a department. In this case, they happen to be accounts payable, the person entering the requisition, the person approving the budget, and then the Director of Business Services, which ultimately has to approve all of the requisitions, purchase orders, and budget transfers that go through the system. So the first thing you'll notice is there is a Run Account Balance Report. Up till now, if you've done this, you've done it out of Alio. The report that comes out of there isn't all that useful in that it does not have requisition totals in there. So this new report, which I've also done a video for, will show you a true reflection of your account balances, which includes any requisitions that are currently in the process. So you'll run that report. And then you'll ask yourself a question once you've seen the results of that report. Do I have negatives in the account that I'm trying to work with? If the answer is no, then you'll follow this blue line and you'll proceed with entering the requisition as normal. Now we are asking that you deliberately write down the requisition number just in case you get kicked out of Alio or someone comes to your desk and you get busy and Alio times out. You want to be able to come back and pick up your work where you left off. So make sure you do jot down that requisition number. So you'll go about entering your requisition, and then when you get to the end, you'll want to make sure that all of your totals match up, that all of the funds that you've entered are allocated. If not, it won't let you finish, and it'll either throw an error or say can't finish and save, budget misallocation, or something like that. So you will need to make sure that those are fixed. Now, I know that those are sometimes difficult to fix on your own, so this is where support comes in. If you get into one of those situations where you are not able to finish the requisition because there's something wrong with one of the dollar amounts or one of the accounts, call accounts payable. We'd be more than happy to help you through that problem. Please do not just click save and leave it in the system. At that point, nobody can do anything with it until it's fixed. So we're asking that you please, at that point, if you notice an error, stop, call accounts payable, and we will help you work through the problem. Now, once that problem is solved, you'll click finish and save. At that point, the requisition gets moved over to the next person that is in line to approve. So in the status field, which was previously empty, you'll now see needs approval by, and then there'll be a 3-character code there. That is the next person that is in line to approve that rec. Now, if I was the person entering in the requisition, the next person that approves my requisitions is the assistant superintendent. So my status field would now say needs approval by ASU. So then once the assistant superintendent approves that requisition, it then moves back to the Director of Business Services lane where I will approve it. The next thing is accounts payable will run an edit list, which is just one of the pieces in the process on its way to becoming a purchase order. Then the purchase order is printed. Once this process runs, it receives its purchase order number. Then at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. every day, depending on the timing of all of these events, you will receive an email notification from Alio that says that your requisition has been approved. And it will give you that number so that you can reference back to it at a later date. So with that requisition number, you'll want to go back to Requisition Entry Approval, click Find, enter your requisition number, click Find again, and you will see that now the purchase order field, which was previously blank, will now have a number in it. That is the number that you will use to make your order with the vendor. Please do not use the requisition number. Use the purchase order number. Now once that's done, and you've made your order, this process is complete. So this is the first scenario. Now let's go back to the very beginning. What if you run that balance report and you do have a negative, which shouldn't happen all that often, but it does happen. Once you see that negative, you need to stop and enter a budget transfer request. Before you even start entering in a requisition, let's correct the negative. That way you don't receive the error in the middle of it that says that you don't have funds available in that account. So now once that budget transfer request has been entered, and along that way you'll want to consult the budget supervisor to make sure that you're both in agreement on which accounts you should move budget from and to. Then it moves to the next person in the approver chain, and then it moves to the Director of Business Services, who will then approve and post. Once it's posted, you will receive an email from Alio that says that that budget request has been approved. Then you need to go back in and run that balance report to make sure that it did in fact post the way you need it to. So your negative should now be a positive number. At that point, if it's positive, you can move forward and enter your requisition as you always would, and just follow the steps along the process. I hope this helps. We understand that entering requisitions can sometimes be a frustrating process, and that by putting some order to all of the steps required, we help alleviate some of that frustration. Please reach out if you have any questions. We are always more than happy to help.